Yo, yo, yo! Welcome to the
Let's go, baby.
Golden Shoe episode 14. This guy Rios really is wearing this shirt before he sent it to us.
Yo, for real.
The golden shoe.
Everyone gets to see.
Yo,
This guy Rios.
we're gonna have a link soon so everyone can buy. $40 a piece.
Ooh. All right, yo, boys, let me welcome each one of you guys. Like always, let me start. Rios, how you doing today?
How you doing today? Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you today. How you doing today?
Yeah, Muchi, how are you doing today?
What is this, a psychology session?
Yeah.
I'm good, dog. I'm chilling. How are you guys?
It's a
I'm
therapy.
doing great, baby. Real Madrid in the semifinals.
Hey.
We got a new guest.
Yes, sir.
That's my dog.
Hello, I hate you.
You gonna introduce him?
What?
We have a guest on the show today. You wanna say his name and introduce him to everybody, Muchi?
You're on mute. You're muted.
You
You're muted.
Muchi, muted yourself, bro.
All right, well, I'll do it.
Yo, I hate getting calls in the middle of the show, dog. Like, they know I'm doing a show right now. But anyways, you know that there are some people that you just have to answer because you don't know what's going on. So you gotta reply sometimes. So anyways, my bad, yo. Let's
That's
start
5 push-ups.
Let's start this again. Rios, man, I know you said what's up. I know you're doing good. I know you're wearing your shirt. I see you wearing your thing. That's good. Anyways, yo, I'm off today. Wow. That's crazy.
I was introducing everybody to the new guest today.
Yo, Guti, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I think we should all just check up on Jonathan real quick, though. See how he's doing.
Yo,
I'm doing very good. Personally, as a fan, I'm not doing well, but personally, yes, I'm doing amazing.
I called one of Jonathan's cousins after the game to see if he was doing okay. And she said that they put all the knives away that they all the ropes and all that good stuff, they were just away from him. So
They locked the windows.
lock the windows, all good. And our guest for the day, Mr. Christian Quiroga, also known as Kiki. How you doing, brother? Welcome to the Golden Shoe.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Excited because of my finals. Not excited to play City, but it is what it is. Do our best to go to the final again. Like, oh,
Are you a Real Madrid fan?
not on. Of course.
Oh,
You couldn't tell.
all right, sorry. We really couldn't tell. It just wasn't too obvious. So
Kiki, you missed one thing though. Tell them that who you play for, who you currently signed to.
So
You know,
I kicked out and rebranded from Los Diablitos to Akatsuki FC.
Oh, guys, so Christian is the one that got hit in the nuts,
oh yeah.
in the indoor game. So, we had to bring him in the show. He's very loved here at the Golden Shoe, very commented on. So, it's also really good to have, people that we talk to on the daily basis here at the Golden Shoe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we should start by what Kiki just said, y'all. Yo, Real Madrid made it to the semifinals, and that is 11 times in the last 50 years. With that said, they tied FC Barcelona's record of appearances in semifinals, which obviously happened about 15, 20 years ago. And he ended about in 2019 was the last time. So, yep, 2019. So, Kiki, man, you've been alive for a bunch of these semifinals, dude. Do you feel like you're watching history?
Not really. Just something I've been accustomed to seeing. I feel more we don't make it just because Real Madrid's a winning team. That's where we belong. Champions League is our tournament. Always will be.
That's true. Let's do take in consideration though that Kiki's pretty young. He wasn't a Real Madrid fan or like even thinking about being born. Real Madrid was qualifying to the Europa League back to back, in the 90s and all that good stuff. But they struggle and all that stuff. Kiki, there's a few comments for you already, buddy. You know, the Mall
He's not
Cup,
wrong. He's not wrong though.
the Mall Cup, Kiki is so cute. That is the best guess. That is so. I love that there's so much love in the air.
Shout out to
Good,
Louis. Boy.
Guti, what are you wearing?
What do you mean? It's just an Adidas shirt.
So what happened to the crest on the shirt? Did you take it out?
I can't. I gotta be incognito. I can't. The fans can't know who I.
That bit fell off.
Yo, Guti, how you did that, though?
Bad luck, Guti, bitch. That's why he doesn't want to wear it.
Nah, that's just a little Photoshop. The Tronquito showed me. So
Ooh.
Ooh.
Guys, let's talk about Tronquito and Chelsea's disaster class. Yo, you know what, Rios? You know what I love about situations that happen throughout the year sometimes? I love when the football world and the football gods just say, Muchi, you're right. We knew Chelsea had to sign a real coach. Yo, they're about to call Lampard Mr. 007 because that's all he does, lose. Yo, he's been in charge for 5 games. Guess what? 0 wins, 0 ties, 5 losses. You guys are a disgrace to Chelsea Football Club at the moment.
You gonna take that?
He has
He's
no.
not
I
wrong.
hope he
He's not
says
wrong.
something.
He's not wrong.
Defend yourself,
I'm
bro.
looking at these games and I'm like, there's
Defend
literally nothing. Like, there's nothing. It's a joke. You know what I'm saying?
I don't believe you should throw all the fire
try-
on.
Huh?
So why do you have that in the background?
Because no matter what, I gotta stay with my team. You know what I'm saying?
You really think though it's
Through thick and thin. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I know that we're not a great team right now, going through struggles. But next season, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, man.
I think your problem, Chelsea's problem is gonna last for at least 2 to 3 years.
yeah.
Nah.
It depends who they bring.
I think next
Bro, but
season,
you guys wasted a
think next
ton of money on players you did not need, in my opinion.
Look, I think that's too soon to talk like that. If we bring in the right coach, then that's a wrap. All we need is the right coach to move the right pieces around.
Exactly.
It's a puzzle, bro. If you
Yo, Jonathan, you wouldn't feel, I understand that you're a middle table team, so you're not used to being at this level. But my question is, wouldn't you have felt better? Okay, you can get eliminated. You can get trashed by Real Madrid. That's okay. It's part of the football world. You can get trashed by Real Madrid, but you can't get trashed by West Ham. You cannot get trashed by Nottingham Forest.
the thing
Yo,
Brighton.
you
it's
cannot
tough
lose to Brighton. You can't.
because I think what it is at this point, Brighton, I understand. I'll take that Brighton loss because Brighton's in great form right now. Brighton's name kills Brighton. But Brian's right. Chelsea has no identity or heart right now. A lot of the players are going out there and they don't even show that they want to play. It seems like they just want the season to be done with, and that's it. And they want to restart.
You know what?
I have a question,
I don't agree with that though, because there's
But
no
not every
way
player.
you're
Not every
playing.
player.
There's no way, bro. Even some players that have been heavy criticized this week, like Cucurella or Mudryk or
Enzo Fernandez.
Fernandez, who was criticized on the second game. Yo, these guys are out there playing against Real Madrid in the Champions League. There's no bigger motivation than that. So don't tell me that these guys just want to go out there and are playing like they want their season to finish, because they were still playing for something very important.
It's not that they were playing. It feels like they were playing like that. But with these results and everything coming out, it feels like these guys don't even care, that they're going out, and the way some of them play, like for example Cucurella, all those mistakes, it feels like going out there, it seems like, oh, you guys don't even care, because it looks like they're trying very hard, but it sucks to see a team like that try so hard to result to nothing, to just losing.
But you just said that they weren't trying hard.
No, that's in a sense of that's what it seems like once we get the end result.
So I
we're not
have a
losing
question.
1-0, we're losing 2-3-0.
Did Chelsea create chances?
Huh?
Chelsea create chances. They
They
created a
do.
lot of chances. They just
But
could
They
not
do.
finish.
And
That's
I
been
think
their problem all
this
season
goes
long.
And you guys did not invest money. You guys invested money in everything but a
but a
striker.
striker.
But Joao
Come on,
Felix,
bro.
Joao Felix just he doesn't have the. I don't know
Bro,
what it is about him. He
the
just
thing
doesn't
is,
have
I
that.
think we didn't
so you're
invest in
telling me you guys
strikers
gonna
because
drop
we're
another
expecting.
bag in the summer?
Look, I think we
They
are. I
have
think
to.
they are looking to drop
They
another bag on a striker.
On who?
I have no
Who's
idea.
gonna
We're
come in
looking at
there
Osimhen
and
was
fix
a
Chelsea's
potential.
problems?
Osimhen was a potential.
Was
I'm like
you
the
think?
same.
Yo,
Yeah,
Osimhen is
I'm-
not gonna go play the Conference League. Like he just played quarterfinals of the Champions League. He's about to win the Serie A. This man is not gonna go to Chelsea to play the Conference League. Yo, Enzo Fernandez signed for 10 years.
Yo,
How
bro,
long do you
that's
think he'll be
crazy.
there, Mucci?
For like 2.
It depends. No. Right now, it looks like that. But hey, if these things turn, remember what happened to Arsenal? Obviously, it wasn't this bad. It wasn't. It was close to it. It was close to it when Arsenal.
Hell no. You
Yes,
can't compare.
You can't
it was
compare.
bad. Their form was
Arsenal,
horrible.
hold on.
Their
When
form was
when
horrible.
Arteta took over, they had an identity. They did not have all the players.
Right.
No, but what
They
I'm
just
saying
needed.
is it's not that. Look, because
things
when
fell
we
when
bring
they
in
fell
new players,
off, like,
people don't understand that you have to give these players time. You're not bringing in 1 or 2 players.
I agree. I
They
agree with
bought
the time.
17 people in the past year. That's
That's what
crazy.
I'm.
And they're not
And
starting
it
one
doesn't
player.
help. It doesn't help that they're alternating coaches. either.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Management right now is the problem. That's the biggest
So it's-
problem right now.
But
Just
Jonathan, when we said a few weeks ago that the best idea was to bring the coach that was already gonna take charge for next year, right now to start getting accustomed to the players, you said you were okay with Lampard, and look at that.
Well, because if that's the decision they want to make, obviously I would have
No,
wanted
this
the coach
just
to step
shows
in.
your level of IQ, brother.
No, it doesn't. Look, I said I was okay bringing in a coach. Like that was going to be our coach, and that's it. But obviously, management didn't want that. So if they had to have picked someone that was going to be temporary, a caretaker, I was okay with Frank Lampard because he had already an identity with the club, and no other assistant coach was stepping up to take the spot. They didn't want to take the spot, so it's like you can't force someone to coach a position to coach that. Lampard was like, "Oh, I'm okay with that if it's just to be a caretaking position until the end of the
But
season."
that's not what
Yeah,
Mucci said.
originally I was like, "Yo, I'll bring in Luis Enrique, Nagelsmann, someone to like start changing things up," but they didn't want to do that, so they picked Lampard. And I was like, "I'm okay with that because that's the decision that's made. I'm not gonna change that their minds." I
Listen,
was okay with that.
Jonathan, they don't pay us to not criticize. You could have had your opinion, and you agreed with probably the worst team in the Premier League at the moment. You guys are close to relegation zone.
We're not getting relegated. We're not getting relegated. I'll tell you that.
you guys got to score. If you guys
Be
don't
right
score, that's
We're not getting
opportunity.
relegated.
Yep.
What?
Oh my!
Look,
You're
we're not
right.
getting relegated, right?
All right, we continue.
He's gonna
I
come
don't
back.
believe everything is Lampard's fault, though. As much as everybody wants it, like
It's not because the team was already in
But nobody's saying it's Lampard's fault. It's the management's fault for not already starting with the manager you guys have in mind.
I
I
agree.
think Todd Bowley came in with such American mentality of money's gonna solve everything.
He doesn't understand. He clearly does not understand soccer
He doesn't.
at all.
And so
And that's why the case with Arsenal is way different because Arsenal was patient with that even through the struggles.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is the situation of like showing that there's a possibility to come back from that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's different types of struggles that teams go through. And I think this is the type of struggle where you have the players, you just need the right manager at this point. And they're struggling to find that manager.
You guys don't have the players, in my opinion. You guys have a
That's
long
your
way to
opinion.
go.
In my opinion, I
They
think
have
they
the
really
option.
have the players, but you're also expecting 17 players to adjust like that. It's
No,
only
but no,
one
we're not
season.
saying that.
That's what
I'm
you're
not saying that.
because we have great players. Reece James,
Come out.
Ben
But
Chilwell,
but Jonathan, you
Koulibaly,
can't.
David Silva,
Hold on.
Enzo
Hold on.
Fernandez.
Hold on. I agree. You got 17 new players, but you cannot say that's the excuse when you guys create chances.
No, I'm saying like it's something with the coaching side because the coach, whoever our coach is, needs to implement some sort of confidence in these players to be able to finish, to be able to play a game with pure confidence. You remember the first couple of games Mudryk played, it seemed like he just wanted to run and not even touch the ball. He barely touched the ball because it seemed like he had no confidence. And it's like after that, you're like, what did we sign this guy for? You know what I'm saying?
Mucci, did you take a lap from the nonsense John was saying?
I had to go get some water to swallow the bullshit.
Listen, y'all.
Hold on, Muchi. So he's putting the so what Jonathan was saying. Let me summarize. Basically, he's saying that because Chelsea bought 17 new players. That I'm not saying he's saying that's an excuse, but that's a part on why they haven't why they haven't been winning. They've been on a drought.
Said the
But
biggest thing
you
is
can't
because
say that when you create chances. You spent money on Modric. I feel like you didn't even need money on
I
Modric.
think everything I
You
said
didn't even need him.
goes in the other, and you're like 17 players. Oh, he thinks it's the players. No, the management. Like I've been saying, management is the biggest issue. We have no. We need a better manager. Like I said, we're creating chances. We
Hold
have no
on. Is it
players.
Frank Lampard's fault that Kanté missed? That Cucurella can't finish?
He's only been manager for 3 games. What is he
It's
supposed
not his fault. Exactly.
5 games, 5.
to 5 games?
No, but still, like what Rios is saying is they had two clear chances to at least make it a
Make it
competitive match.
competitive.
Exactly. But what
And
I'm
They
saying is,
missed.
wasted
They
those
missed. Why? Because they left Aubameyang, who is a fantastic
yeah,
striker.
that I don't understand. Why
How?
we're not starting Aubameyang at least
But
as a
Nah,
he got
it
left
definitely
out
has
of the
to.
he got left out of the Champions League squad,
he wasn't part of the roster.
How many
which
players
is
you
Well,
got
everywhere he
that
goes,
the
there's
ball?
some type of issue. Like
Yeah,
he had issues in
38.
Arsenal.
he's very picky,
No,
and
but
he
how
ends
many
up
players
getting.
do you think they have to sell because they can't keep that whole team?
They are offloading players. That's what
But how
their
many
biggest
do you
goal is
think?
this summer.
I
They're
heard it was like
offloading
Yo,
players.
Mason Mount might leave.
You think
Is that true?
Liverpool is already prepping a contract for him? I think he might be
No, I heard that Tuchel might want him in Munich.
maybe he
I
might
don't
be.
know how that would fit. I would see him
Mm,
on
I
the
think he's
bench,
gonna
but
stay in England. I think he's
that's
gonna stay in England.
interesting, though. That's interesting. Yo, guys, is Joao Felix top 5 most overrated players in the world right now?
oh,
He had.
Yo,
I mean,
if he's not number 1, he's second, right after Mudryk.
with the right midfielder, he'll be like he's really dangerous with the right
No,
midfielder.
because
What is the right midfield? Because he had a great midfield and an
yeah,
A
amazing
more creative,
person next to him.
more creative midfield. If he had
Bro,
a more creative
he
midfield,
had Griezmann next to him, who's
no,
top
no,
5
but
players in the world right now.
ever since he left
I think
Portugal,
if that's the case, then he's just not consistent. I guess he lacks
I think he showed off a
consistency.
little bit like this first 2 games in Chelsea until he got that red card.
Yo,
That he just messed up.
Lewis, right? He's saying Felix is solid in a system that fits him, right? I want to know which system
Yeah,
have we seen Joao Felix work. He doesn't work for Portugal. He doesn't work for Chelsea. He doesn't work for Atletico de Madrid. All he worked for was for Benfica in a league that's not as competitive as obviously is La Liga or the Premier League. I think the Portuguese league is like 7th in UEFA right now.
so then is it fair to say that he's just not good enough to be competing in these leagues?
I feel like he's very lazy.
He
He's
does seem
so
like that. He does seem
talented
like
that
that.
he's really lazy, and he shows in these competitive games. Yo, Joao Felix right now he's overrated. 50. I think Chelsea paid 15 million or 11 million, one of the two,
But
for a loan for 6 months.
that's a
Yo,
lot.
11 million, bro.
I think he's just I think that's a big part. I mean, you see him on the pitch, and sometimes it looks like he's just not really there to be there. He's just there to, or like what I'm saying is he's just there to be there. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like I think he's just not built for the Prem or La Liga at this point. You know what I mean? And I think that's where the big argument of him being overrated comes from.
I mean, I'm just saying, guys. Let's talk about Manchester City, man. Yo, this team is really solid. They are coming back little by little on the Premier League, which we will talk about it in a little bit.
I think they're taking it off.
Yo, they were
it's
incredible.
scary.
Yo, if there is something that Manchester City and you know what, and Pep Guardiola was lacking as a coach was that they're like Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, they are so used to you controlling every part of the game that they do not know how to suffer. Yo, I think they learned how to suffer. They suffered a lot against Bayern Munich. Like there was a point in the first half where I was thinking, yo, if Bayern Munich gets the first goal, we're going to extra time. I really thought it could be a 3-0 game. How do you guys see it?
Yeah, I think Bernardo Silva. I don't know if you guys saw the interview. I think he said it perfectly. That they were so used to holding on to the ball for 90% of the game that they didn't know what to do defensively, or they didn't know what to do without the ball. And if you saw, Munich had a lot of possession. I was surprised, and you saw City defending. They were being aggressive defending. So They're looking scary. I'm nervous. If I'm a Madrid fan, I'm nervous. They have Haaland. They're more aggressive. I don't know, bro. It's not looking too good for Madrid, in my opinion.
Well, I think it's gonna be a
Man,
really tough match.
it should have been the final. In my
Guti, welcome to the show. Woo! What's up, Guti? What's your take on this?
You know, I think this is the difference between a world-class coach and a caretaker coach. You know, Bayern Munich went down fighting,
That's true.
and
Okay.
they had Man City against the ropes. So, you know, in my opinion, I think Manchester City's like pretty much putting their heart out for the Premier League and European competitions because, you know, that's ultimately what it comes down to is the Premier League is just overrated in Europe, unless you're Man City.
Guti,
I think
I really like your comment. So you're saying that obviously Tuchel is way better than Frank Lampard. Is that what you were trying to say?
I'm just saying in general, like that's the difference between a world-class coach is you prepare your team for those tough situations. You know, when you all odds are against you, like Bayern Munich had Man City on the ropes for majority of the game, they just couldn't finish. But
Same with Chelsea. We couldn't finish. The only difference is that Bayern lost 4-1 and Chelsea lost 4-0. A 1-goal difference is, I guess that's the difference between a caretaker.
no, it's the style of play, the way
Yeah, but Chelsea had that
they
too. Like
went
you
out.
said, they had so many chances. We created chances to score. And
No, I didn't say so many. You
Jonathan,
didn't create chances.
Are you comparing Chelsea to Bayern Munich right now?
yeah, it was literally by a 1-goal difference is what we lost. It was a difference to it.
Well, Chelsea
No,
shot 19 times against Madrid. That's a lot, and only 6
Yeah.
were on.
That means that they had a lot of chances, they just couldn't finish. Like we also said,
Exactly. So I mean, we're already past that point. We already talked about that.
yeah,
I'm
No,
tired
but
of
I
talking
think
about
what
Chelsea,
Guti was
bro.
trying to
yeah.
say was
So
that
am I because it's the
you
same
give
thing. They're in bad
give
form.
Tuchel a
They're
team like
shit,
Bayern Munich.
and we need a coach. That's it.
All I know is that you
No.
give Tuchel a team like Bayern Munich, he's gonna look at his squad and already have like an idea what he wants to do. Lampard has to look at a squad of like 30 plus people and be like, what do I do with this? You know, Bayern already had their starting 11, their bench, and he can look at that and be like, this is what I can work with off the bat. That's what he did against Man City. That's why he was able to
And he
go
still
at them.
lost by 3 goals.
Give that I mean, I agree with John.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but I think
But-
Munich put up a better fight. I think what messed them up was Upamecano's
he slipped.
yeah,
I want to say he
his
slipped.
mess ups, his mistakes. His mistakes in the first game and his mistake in the second game.
Do you guys agree with that? That he slipped? Haaland didn't drop.
No,
him.
he did slip.
No,
Everyone
Yeah.
I don't think he got crossed.
You're like, oh, Haaland dropped Upamecano. No, he didn't. It happens all the time. People slip on the pitch. It's wet.
He didn't want to give the penalty, so he did.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Mucci's comment though, the one where he said that City learned how to suffer. I think that's a great point because I remember when Zidane was the Madrid manager. What did he used to always say, Guti, in his press conference interviews? You must learn how to suffer. What's up, Mucci? Welcome back.
Yo, we're back.
Welcome back to the Golden Shoe, ladies and gentlemen. We got Pipe Ramis, Mr. Factos in the building.
Yo, we here.
I think
yo.
City-
My boy
City's
took
press
2
is
laps.
good, though.
Jonathan's on a roll, speaking some nonsense.
Hey, City actually has a good press. I think what their struggle was like trying to maintain a press on a team that can actually bounce the ball around them. Because there's a lot of teams in the Premier League that can't do that against them. And they have
Wait, who are you talking about?
the suffering that City that you were talking about. I think that suffering was like they have a good press when a team has a ball, but they don't go against a lot of teams in the Prem that can bounce the ball around them with their formation. And when they played Bayern,
No,
they couldn't do
I think what Guardiola did was like, you good?
You okay, Kiki?
Is your pause good? You good? You okay?
He probably got a call or something.
that.
No, I think what Guardiola did this game was okay. We're gonna focus defensively. We know what to do with the ball.
Yeah.
That's a given. Let's focus on the defense side or defending without the ball. So you saw they were aggressive.
No, yeah,
I was really impressed.
Yeah. That's
Which
what I'm
even the back line.
yeah.
What's the Belgian guy's name?
Akanji?
Yes, Akanji. Yo, he had a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
Ruben Diaz and Ake. Oh my God.
He's from
Like,
Defensively, they look great.
There was those two
He's from
types of defense,
Switzerland.
like the press when Bayern has the ball, and then like holding it while Bayern has the ball, like is possessing the ball. And I think Man City, like you said, like they're so used to having the ball like 90% of the time. And now that it's like when there's a team that could bounce it around them, how do they defend against that, you know? And I think that's what they learned to do, like to suffer through that. And like, because it's a suffer for every team, you know, you hate when there's a team possessing against you, but you know, they've learned to suffer through that and to overcome that. And I think that's why I think they're going to win the Champions League. Arsenal's going to take the point.
I think what Guardiola did was, you know what, fellas, we're gonna give Munich the ball and we're gonna capitalize on their mistakes. I know he saw somewhere in the film because you remember before that they got eliminated from the German Cup, right? They
Yep.
lost right after, didn't they? Were they tied in the German league, if I'm not mistaken?
They got bounced
The FT Pokal.
from the German
Yeah, and I
Cup.
know they had like a league game where Tuchel messed up. I remember Tuchel didn't have a great start. I don't remember. Anyways, long story short, you can tell that he told the guys, "Hey, let's give Munich the ball." He probably saw something in those games that they lost or didn't do so well to capitalize. And then you got a player like Haaland, where if you give Munich the ball, you're gonna you know there's gonna be space for Haaland to make runs in behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's going on? Everyone just keeps bouncing in and out.
Yo, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Yo, what is happening? But I do want to say one thing though. This is the game though. Like this, we're about to see probably one of the best Champions League games. Hopefully, you know, because sometimes we expect a lot and they're boring. But
I mean,
no,
the
I
last
really,
few
The,
games
the,
were real
go
close.
ahead, go.
Yeah. What
yeah.
was that Tottenham and that Tottenham final was
Oh,
That
crazy.
was
against
boring.
Liverpool, yeah,
That
that
was
was
That
boring.
was
crazy.
that was
Boring.
terrible.
Yo, no
Ridiculous.
way. What was that
You
like?
No,
mean you
it
mean
was
that you mean that Ajax and Tottenham
Bro,
game in the semis was crazy.
That was a
no
good
way.
game.
oh yeah, that was a great game
No,
too.
but you know it's interesting, Muchi, because now Madrid is a team that doesn't need possession. So what
True.
does City do? What does Guardiola do?
Oh,
What do
they
you
have
think?
they have to believe in they have to go and do the same game they did against Bayern in the first game.
So
Both
you think
they gotta do it both games.
they're gonna give Madrid the ball?
No, in the first game.
Okay, okay.
Like they have to play their way both games. They're not
And I
gonna
think
give.
they will. I think
they're-
Madrid will sit back.
You
I
think
think
Madrid will
Madrid, I
sit
think
back with
Madrid will let
a?
them
I
have the
think.
ball.
I
Where's
don't
the
I
think we can
first game
afford
at?
to sit back.
Where's the
I
first
No,
think.
game?
but I
Kiki,
think
I
they're gonna
think
let
they
them have
have
it.
to, dog. I don't
No, I
think.
get it, but I don't think that you can sit back and then have Haaland in the middle right there as a 9 waiting for
No,
the ball to
but
come
they're
to him.
they're more
Madrid's defense
explosive on
can.
the
I
counter.
You guys
prefer
have
that
you guys
than
have a
Yeah,
giving
midfield
them
to hold
space
that
to
of
him.
down. I
course.
think
Yeah.
Madrid could hold down Holland.
I
Haaland.
think.
Well,
I think Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid has to go with the four midfielders again and bench Rodrigo again. Because
Yeah,
if they go with a 4-3-3 against City, that's gonna give them a lot of space.
yeah.
and then we see Rodrigo coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Like always, bro, Mr. Clutch.
I think they should put
Oh,
Camavinga
yo,
back in the middle
the soccer
against
world,
City.
they just kicked.
Well, let me correct you on that, Muchi, because you said at first he was better than Vinny, and then you
Oh yeah,
clarified and said he's clutch.
I,
Well,
of
hold
course I
on,
clarified. Yeah,
hold on. Who gave Rodrigo one of the who gave the assist to Rodrigo on one of
yeah,
the goals?
of course.
Pedro.
But I've been saying it the past few shows. Beanie is top 5 in the world right now. I said it plenty of times, but that doesn't mean that in my eyes, I think Rodrigo is made for this type of games.
I think he's going under the radar. He's a little bit under Vinny's shadow.
Absolutely. And we know who's gonna wear number 10 in Brazil. We know Rodrigo's gonna get it.
Well,
So
that's what Neymar said. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. Yo, let's talk about a little bit about what they talk about against La Liga and the Premier League and all that good stuff. Yo, I am 100% with what Mr. Chip said a few months ago. This has been a really
Barca fan.
mediocre Premier League. This Premier League has been so mediocre
It's been bad.
that
It's been bad.
that Arsenal had like 12 points ahead, and Guardiola came out and said that his team didn't even really want to win the Premier League because they have won it so much. They were bored of it. And they're about to win the Premier League again. Yo, this is how mediocre this Premier League has been. You have
Wait,
I
Brighton.
don't agree.
You have
you
Brighton
remember?
and Newcastle. Yo, you have
You
Brighton
remember?
and Newcastle having, probably the best seasons they had.
Fulham. Two.
Fulham, yo,
Fulham.
Fulham, and you got Liverpool and Chelsea in mid-table. What?
It's a weird season. It's a
Yeah.
weird season.
I like it.
Is it the wrong time to bring up how Sevilla thrashed Man U today? Is it the wrong
Wait,
moment?
Oh,
Muchi,
that's great. I was coming to that. Can
But
you guys please explain? Go ahead, Jonathan. Go ahead.
I want to bring up what Pep Guardiola said in the interview that I sent you, that I sent to your email.
Oh,
20
but,
seconds.
Something along
but
the
that's
lines
like
of-
that's like right after, dog.
Okay.
You have to, yo, Jonathan. You're gonna learn the moments
But-
with the
No,
with
it's
the
But
good
shows.
you're talking
Muchi,
about it right
I
now.
agree with your comment though,
So-
because
Mhm.
what do people criticize La Liga for? Oh, there's only two teams. If you look at the points, there's always two teams competing for the. But look, that's how the Premier League is this year.
I
This
want
year.
I want Jonathan
Usually
to tell me why Manchester United, who is third in the Premier League, who beat Manchester City, right? Who beat Arsenal, why did they get trashed by a team, by a La Liga side that is 5 points from relegation? Why?
I didn't watch that game.
Nah.
But
can't
it's
tell
not
you
really.
why.
It's not really about watching. It's just like knowing the result. Yo, you get trashed 3-0.
I mean,
So
the,
what is you guys'
Man,
opinion?
I'm
Like,
like
why?
speechless. You don't know what to
What do
say.
you want me to say? United
only
had a bad day.
excuse-
It happens. They're
Your
you're in
your
good
opinion.
form, and then you end up not playing well one game, and it bites you in the ass. Like
That's we all know that's Sevilla's league, man. I mean, yeah, that's their league.
it is Sevilla's cup, just kind of like how the Champions is Real Madrid's. But I think
don't
the
think
only
it's the
excuse
same.
for Man U is the injuries they have. But even then, 3-0 to an almost relegation.
The struggling Sevilla team, yeah.
That's it's not surprising though, because that's I think the Liga has an advantage over the champion. I'm sorry, the Premier League in the Champions League and the Europa League.
I still think
I saw an interesting
Premier League is
comment
more
by
competitive
Gerardo
than La
Mucci.
Liga.
I don't know if you saw it
Let me see.
about Jonathan.
Oh, did Troquito stop being deluded? He probably joined the wrong show again, bro.
All I'm saying is, I still think the Prem. Do you guys respect Guardiola's comments? Do you guys think what he thinks is like very valid, having coached in La
Anything he
Liga?
says is valid.
All right, so there was.
If he says the sky is green, the sky is green.
All right,
Okay.
Guardiola said in an interview that winning the Premier League is harder than winning the Champions League.
I'm gonna show it to you right now.
And the reason why that is because they have so
The
many
amount of games.
And but you
that
guys,
means why didn't he just say La Liga then? Because he plays the same amount. He played.
No,
England-
he's saying the
England-
amount of
England
competition
plays like-
you have to play in England.
but Jonathan, he did. But Jonathan, he
8
did
games.
say that. He did say that in La Liga too when he was coaching La Liga. And you know who said that too? Zidane. Zinedine Zidane, who won 3 Champions Leagues in a row with Real Madrid.
But who do you
He
respect
said
more? And
he said that winning La Liga was harder than winning the
We're
Champions
the
League.
Champions
the thing
League.
is, this is a Guardiola that has been a lot more evolutionized, and he's saying this right now. He could have easily not mentioned this comment.
But that's
But
how
But
it
why?
is. That's how
If
is.
he thinks and he believes that, why can't he say that? What's wrong with that?
Well, I'm not. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying. I'm trying to prove my point. Why I think the it's like I think the Prem is more competitive than La Liga, and I think this helps my point. This backs up my
But
point. That's my
how
point.
if
No,
you have a team that's about to get relegated or in a relegation zone, just smack your third place
That's one
team?
game. That's one game.
But Rios, like I was actually like thinking and trying to process and try to understand, this comment, right? Like I understand, like to me, the Premier League is the most competitive league because they are all in levels kind of the same, but they
Exactly.
don't have the best teams in Europe.
They don't have
They
the best
don't.
team in
They
Europe.
don't.
Exactly. They're all
And
just leveled
it's
out.
plain
just
and
like Mucci
simple.
said.
Like, yo, if Sevilla, who is almost at relegation zone, can beat the Premier League third spot, there is only one team in the Premier League, one that can beat everybody in La Liga, and that is Manchester City. They
Well,
are
that's
the
whole
only
point.
team.
That's the definition of being competitive. That it's not just a couple teams dominating. That's what he said. There a lot
But
of
then
teams
what do
are
you
very
mean?
leveled.
But Man
But-
City and Arsenal is dominating the Premier League.
This
Not
is
only
one
that-
season. You're talking about one season, not throughout the season. Like, you
Jonathan,
look at the
who-
points; they're very close, and to see who can qualify.
It's
for
always
Champions
two teams. It's always two teams. It's same thing with the Premier League. It's always either Liverpool or Man City or Man
Jonathan,
City.
who
Next
who
topic.
has won the league in the last 5 years in the Premier League? Who?
It's either been City or Liverpool.
No, it's been 4 times Liverpool, 4 times Manchester City, 1 time Liverpool. That's competitive for you?
And then what about La Liga?
La
What, probably
Liga
one
in the
more
last
team?
5 years, La Liga has had 3 different champions.
Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, and Barcelona.
And
I'm assuming.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't know what to say.
It's a one team there. But if you look at the point differential from below that, from second, third, and fourth Champions League qualifications, it's way far.
But
It's
those
the same thing with
teams,
the Premier League, though.
but those
Look,
We're
teams,
talking
if you
look how
match
far
up
Man U is from Man City.
from 3
We're
to
talking
6,
about the league as a whole, right? A competitive league where every team. It's not like there's like a 15-point.
Look who Barca just tied against. Or who did it tie against?
We're
Girona.
not talking about
Thank you, man.
Against
games. You're
Girona,
talking
yeah.
about individual games. You're like, oh, look, this happened this weekend. All right, that happens. It happens. A small team is going to beat a big club. It happens. But I'm saying
Just like it
overall, at
happens in
the
the
end
Premier League,
result,
though.
to establish if a league is competitive, you have to look at the final result of how teams did. And if you look at the Premier League, a lot of those teams are very close in the middle table.
It's only close from 3 to 10.
And that's fine. That's what
That same thing with La Liga most of the time.
A lot of teams, for example, is a team like Girona looking to win La Liga? Like, yeah, sure, but no, a lot of times they're looking to just qualify for Europa or, at most Champions. That's what their objectives
Or
are.
not.
Jonathan, like I agree with you in the comment, and I don't know if the rest
Like,
of you
I
guys
agree
do that.
that La Liga has better teams, no doubt. Like, their teams are
Yeah,
better. But I'm just
course.
saying, in competitive side, like if you look at the definition of competition, like what makes it more competitive, That's
No,
what
like
I'm
Jonathan,
saying.
like I agree
Thank
when you
you.
guys
I agree with Gerardo.
I agree when you guys say that the Premier League is the most competitive. Okay, because between them, they are kind of at the same level, but the
Exactly.
champion
No,
is always the same one.
No, right. That I know, but what I'm
But in
saying
La
it's not
is
Liga,
even.
the
Hold
league as
on.
a whole.
It's
I
not even competitive. It's entertaining.
there
That's
you
it.
go.
It's the most
Entertaining.
entertaining.
It's the
I
most
won't say
entertaining league.
competitive.
I
I
agree.
mean, it's been
Yes,
competitive this year because if you look at Liverpool and
but
Chelsea
it's only
being down there and
competitive from
Fulham,
3rd to
but it's still a
freaking
competition. I
15th.
mean, if
Exactly.
it's
Like
still
you said,
trying to compete
being
for the third
competitive. It's
place
still
spot at
professional, and
Champions
it's still
and the
close.
fifth and sixth for Europa, and then like 7 and 8 for the
True.
conference, it's still a competition. They're still trying
Like
to battle it
Is
for
La
top.
Liga not like that?
not
I'm
when
confused.
it's Prem.
I feel like it's always the same 5 teams that are at the top, and I love La Liga. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong,
Yo,
but I
five
No,
feel like it's
it's
teams
always
Like
Real
competing
this
for
most
La
of the
year,
Madrid,
Liga.
time.
That's very
real. If you
competitive.
really want to go super
Barcelona.
recent, this year Brighton and Newcastle are
Exactly.
competing for Champions League. Literally, like
Do
they're
you
hoping
think,
to try
yo?
and
Do
get
you guys really
Yes,
think if
but that's
Brighton,
different.
yo,
That's crazy.
Brighton and Newcastle, they cannot play Atletico de Madrid right now. Yo,
But
Atletico
no
de
one's
Madrid will
saying
kill
that.
We're
them.
No
not
one's
saying
saying.
that. We're not
I don't feel
saying
like what
that. You guys
Jonathan
are
is
taking
trying to
this into
say is
different context. That's the thing.
that England is as
Yes,
competitive
thank
in
you. Pull
there.
up the standings. Look at third. Look at third between
Now, when
Man
was the
City and
last
Man
time
U.
you
Can
seen
you zoom
Aston
in?
Villa in 6th place? When was the last time you seen that?
Yes, because the league this year is really
Yeah,
mediocre.
but what I'm saying is that's what
It's
defines
competitive between
being
them. That's what
competitive.
he's
It's not
saying.
competitive. It's entertaining.
But between
It's
them,
way
it's
different.
competitive. The teams are mediocre. All of them are mediocre right now. What he's saying is that they're all competitive against each other.
Rios is
I,
not correlating
he's
what we're
not. He
talking
hasn't
about.
mentioned
I
saying
might
that
have to
Premier
talk to him
League
like he's
is
10 or
more
something. But
competitive than La Liga. He's saying it's competitive overall. You can't
yeah,
look at, let's say, Bundesliga and say it's not competitive between them German teams. Of course it is, because they have teams battling for first and second still. They have teams battling for Champions League. They have teams battling for relegation to get out of it right now. It's still a
But
competition.
everybody does. That's the same with
like
every league.
wait, let me ask you,
Exactly.
why is it
It's not
competitive?
what
Why is
he's
it
saying.
entertaining?
He's
Why
not
is it
comparing.
entertaining? Why is
I'm
it
conf-
entertaining? Explain.
Hold on. I wish. Who's controlling it? Is it Mucci? But he's not even here. Is he here?
No. Explain to me why it's entertaining. Because anything can
Hold
happen, right?
on. Time out. I mean, it's entertaining. Of course. What do you mean? Why the Premier League? Between games amongst each other, between the level of play that they're at, to me, is not elite.
I've said this before. It's the fans too. It's
Is
that.
the come on? It's many things. I might sound crazy, but it's the camera angle, the camera where they place. That makes a huge difference because when you watch a Premier League match, you feel like you're there. La Liga is different. Like La Liga stadiums are so spread out that it's not the same. The atmosphere is the fans, is the culture. You
But
could
what's the
be
question?
in 18th place and they still fill up the stadium.
But what's the question?
But
The
wait, we're
question
not talking
is the
about what the
question
fans
say
like or what's more
Premier League
entertaining to
better
watch.
than La
We're talking about
Liga, or
But okay,
competitive.
I'm saying that's what makes it entertaining. What I just said.
How does
That's
that
what makes it
correlate with
entertaining.
it being competitive? We're talking about the league. How does the camera angle dictate how many points a team is going to have in the league? We're not talking about that.
So
Okay,
what's the
but
question?
how?
What's the
Wait,
main
how can you
question
say
right
it's
now?
competitive when there's a huge gap between third and second?
We're talking about the league as a whole. Obviously,
But
yeah, like I agree that there's always like sure, it's always one or two teams that are dominating the first and second place. That's kind of how it is in most in other leagues, sure. But what I'm saying, the rest of the table, we're not just looking at one or two teams. We got to look at the whole league as a whole and see how close those points are. Like if you
Exactly.
look at fourth through 10th, like that's crazy. That's not even a 10-point difference. You know
have
what I'm
you
saying?
looked at 4 through 10 in the La Liga?
No, but I'm sure this one's closer than that one.
But you can't. How
And
you?
that's how it usually is. And that's how it usually is. And that what
No,
I
it's
like he
not,
said, you
bro.
usually see the
La
same team.
Liga is usually competitive from
No,
third to
but
8 or
what I'm saying
whatever.
is
You
Guti
got
can
you
quote me
usually
on
see
this.
the same team
yes.
from
So
fourth
okay.
to
So
10th.
in La Liga you have Bilbao always fighting for Europe. Then
Yes,
you
you have
got
Villarreal,
Yeah,
you
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 have
have
got
it's kind
Sevilla,
of the
Villarreal.
same teams.
Betis,
You have
It's kind of the
Betis.
same
That's
teams.
already four teams right there, and that takes you what from like 4 to 8.
and that's from the top
What,
of
what,
our head. I'm pretty sure we're
what I'm
missing
saying
other
is it's
teams
usually
too.
the
Real
same teams
Sociedad right
competing
now
for the
is
same
flying.
Real Sociedad.
points.
And
But
then, of course, now Valencia is close to relegation. They're always up there
Sevilla.
too,
They're
and
always up there
Sevilla is
fighting.
always up
Exactly.
there too. So Bilbao, Sevilla, Betis, Valencia, Villarreal. You have a lot of popular
Yeah,
teams, no well-known teams, always fighting for those European
and
positions,
and
like
guess
you were
what? Those
talking
teams
about.
from three, from third to six are the teams, or let's say, what's the Europa zone? Is it from fourth to
Four,
seventh
four,
or
five,
Five and
sixth?
four
six,
to
five
six or
and
seven.
six
seven.
is
Those are
Europe.
the
Five to
teams
six?
that knock out the Premier League teams in La Europa League.
Wait, what happened?
Okay, so the teams from Spain that are
Guti, try to
anywhere
pull up
from
the La
fourth to
Liga
sixth.
standings.
Yes, exactly. Those are the ones that knock out the Premier League teams in the Europa League, especially the ones that come from Champions League and then go down to the Europa League. Like today, my bad. Was Man U? No, Man U went to were they in the Champions League or they just
Yes.
No,
qualified?
Who,
they
Man
were in
U?
Europa League the whole time.
Gucci,
Europa.
Oh,
pull
the
up
whole
La
time.
Liga standings.
You sure?
But
Yeah,
Sir.
pull up the La Liga standings because
because what I'm trying to say is
Tronco's
that
saying that that
you
it's not
see
competitive from third to 8 or 10 or 12.
what I'm saying is in the Premier League, it's you're more likely to see changes in who qualifies for Europa and sometimes Champions League.
But
Those
it
are
always changes. Besides just two
like
people.
why like Arsenal, obviously like they're a well-known club in England. They're a big club in England. And the past 3 years, like they've been
Can
Europa
you
League
zoom in,
contenders,
Mushi?
you
See,
know?
look right there. You got
That should just show
You see,
how
like
elite
that seems
Barca
like a
and
very
Madrid are.
competitive.
That's why El Clásico is the best match in the world. Zoom in a little bit. Can you zoom in on the points?
what's the point spread from, let's say,
Uh,
Atletico to like Rayo?
from Atletico
And
to
it's not really
Rayo
much of the
is
like
See, look,
20
look, look.
points.
Look from fourth. Look from fourth. 51, 48, 47, 43, 40.
That's a
yeah,
less
It's a
than
few games
double digit
apart.
point spread. That's less than 10 points right there from 4 to
but
7,
what I'm
8.
saying is also like it's kind of the same teams that you see in those spots for the most part in La
You
Liga.
never see
Rayo?
Rayo. You
You
never
never
No,
seen
see
I know.
Rayo
Rayo
up
You
there.
there,
never
Obviously,
see
this
bro.
season is
Girona up there
different,
either.
but
Girona's
Girona?
having a
this
freaking
season is. But what I'm saying, average on the like usually you'll see the same teams
It
in the
alternates.
same
No, it
position.
always alternates between
Like he said,
Valencia,
Sevilla.
Sevilla,
Even Guti said it.
Villarreal.
Even Guti said it. He said Sevilla. A big reason why why he thinks that they dominated United is because that's a Sevilla Cup. Like Europa is their thing.
And then you have Osasuna qualifying for the final of La Copa
And
del
they're in the
Rey and
Copa
the
del Rey
10th.
final too.
But that's like an in-house type of thing. Like,
Uh,
What do you mean? What do you mean in-house type of thing, bro?
that's a domestic cup. We're talking about
I think
international.
Tronco needs to take a timeout. I think he lost this one.
I love watching the Premier League though. It is
I do
entertaining just
too.
because
It's the most
Entertaining.
all of
entertaining,
the
of
upsets.
It's
course.
the
There's
most
no doubt
entertaining
it's
league. I agree.
entertaining. There's no doubt. I think it's just more competitively diverse than La
But
Liga.
I do obviously agree that Real Sociedad, Betis, Villarreal, and Bilbao, they're way better than all the Premier League teams, anyways.
Thank you. Han, I have a
Except
question.
except Man City and Arsenal, of course.
I have a question. Kiki, why are you wearing shades?
What do you mean? They're my
Wearing
glasses.
shades,
They're
glasses.
You
not
mean
your
like
glasses.
on
Those
your
are not
real
your
life?
reading glasses.
These are my reading glasses.
Oh man,
What is he
y'all are-
talking
lying
about?
on his paws, bitch.
What do you mean?
yo
Never
guys,
reading that.
Manchester City,
Ah,
Manchester City.
I caught a
Yeah,
cramp.
that's
Hold
what you
on. I
get.
caught a
That's what
cramp.
you get.
I caught a cramp. Hold on.
That's what you get for
Nah,
talking smack.
You think
Ah.
you gotta? Wow, that's
you
crazy.
just gotta go send a text real quick.
Guys, Manchester City is it's a few points away from Arsenal, one game in hand, and they're gonna play Arsenal next weekend, not
That's
this weekend,
crazy.
the weekend, well, midweek next week.
Yo, y'all
And
boys didn't even check up on me. Yeah, y'all messed up. Ah.
I mean, nothing bad happened to you, bro. It's just a cramp.
I think that's gonna be a
You're
tie.
basically a
I think
physio.
we're
If you
gonna
can't
tie.
take care of yourself, you have an issue.
Oh man.
That's
So
gonna be a tie.
guys, and Manchester City got that. They're in the semifinals. They're in the semifinals of the Champions League, and they're gonna play this weekend for a spot in the FA Cup final, which means they are 5 or 6 games away from winning the treble.
Busy.
Something that has not been done in England since 1999.
The Red
I don't think they
Devils.
do it. I don't think they complete it.
I don't think they're going to. I think Arsenal doesn't have
I
enough
think-
on their plate, and they'll get ready for that game. I think Arsenal's worst result is going to be that they draw City,
Yes.
because I don't think City's going to go. I think City would rather take a Champions League than a Premier League. Like you said, they've won so many Premier Leagues. I think they're going to want the Champions League more than that. That's
They
what they're
have.
struggling
They
to
have to
complete.
want it more. They have.
They're
to.
gonna.
Get that out of there.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have like if they. I forgot that kid's name,
If
but
the man,
they
if
don't start.
Manchester City does not win the Champions League, their whole year
Yeah.
is a disaster.
It's a
But
disaster.
it's also
Even
tough
with the
too.
No, I
with the
don't. I don't
Premier
agree.
League.
No, chill
I think
out,
it's
bro.
tough
That's
too.
a little too far.
Because
Pep-
obviously
and the
they
way
want
they've
to
been
win the treble, like, but I think what they're gonna do is it's like gonna be a tough decision. It's like, do you want to win the secure the prem so that if you lose champions, you at least have a trophy to lift?
Yo, you guys are acting like Manchester City's team depth is like Barcelona's that only have 14 players. Yo,
No,
Manchester City
but
has like
they
23
do.
starters.
They do,
Yes.
but what I'm saying is they're going against an Arsenal team that is going to use all their stars, going to come with all their firepower. So
Yo,
Saliba even said-
Arsenal has been using all their fire for the past month, and they
What do you
still
mean?
tied twice.
Their best center
yeah,
back
but
has been injured.
I think they're coming into this with a different mindset. Though. You
Saliba has
gotta
been
think of
injured
it,
the
like-
past few games. He's
Yeah,
literally
but
said
that's
he's
but
willing
that's
to
but
risk
that's,
his
that's a
injury.
defender. They've been healthy
What
up
do you
there,
mean?
and they
That's fine, but if you don't have
Gabriel
defense-
Jesus back for a month already or two.
I think this game's gonna end in a draw. I think they're gonna draw.
Well, Jonathan, but
Oh.
we're not talking about that. We're talking about like how many trophies do you think Manchester City can win?
They're gonna take
One.
one trophy at least this year. They're gonna take one at least.
They're taking one.
I
One
see
of
them
them.
taking.
So, Guti, which one? How many and which one do you think Man City is gonna take?
I think they'll take one, and it'll be the FA Cup.
One, and it's gonna be the FA Cup. Okay,
I agree.
Oi,
Jonathan, what you
they're
got?
gonna take the Champions and FA Cup. I'm going with 2 trophies. They're gonna take the FA Cup and they're gonna take the Champions League. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Kiki, what you got?
I unfortunately agree with Bad Luck Guti. They're gonna win only one, and it's gonna be the FA Cup.
Oh, hey, Goody, this is the time to break the curse, dog.
No, it's
Please,
bad like
please.
Jonathan now.
Nah, I already knew we weren't going to do anything this year. But hey, this is the time that Guti's gonna break the curse. If Madrid beat City,
Y'all get paid? What is
Oh.
this?
So Muchi, you're not gonna ask me?
You think I do this for free? What the
You're paying me, man. Y'all better get a Zell for this.
So you're not gonna
Rios, I'm coming for you soon.
quick, dog.
Are you like
You
excited?
better catch
to
another
ask me
cramp.
this?
Watch
a
out.
tail wagon.
Yo, I'm still feeling it, bitch. I'm scared.
Wait, Kiki, did you answer it? How many?
Yeah. They're winning one, and it's the FA Cup. I don't think.
Man, be your own man. Say your own answer, bro.
Okay.
Why? If I agree,
He
that was
believes.
gonna be my answer first. I'm sorry he didn't go to me
Rios.
first.
Rios, out of the 3 trophies that Man City can win, how many you think they're gonna win, and which ones?
It would be nice to see them win 3. However, Arsenal fans gonna hate me. They're only gonna take 1, which is the Premier League.
Nah.
I don't
you
see
think-
them.
You
No
think they're
FA
gonna
Cup.
lose this weekend, or the final against United or Brighton?
Yeah, I
Why?
think so.
Why would they lose those games? Why?
It's just a lot of games. Like it's tough. It gets tricky around this year when you're competing for all 3. Like it could be set up for a disaster. I don't know. It just I would love. I'm a Guardiola fan. I would love for him to win all 3 because I think he deserves it. And I think if he wins
No
all
one
3, I
deserves
think it will
nothing if you
settle
don't win it.
the debate. What?
No one deserves anything, bro. It's whoever wins it. Nothing about winner losing.
Okay, but as a coach, it's different because you can't control everything. You can't remote control your player to put an upper 90.
That's
In
fine.
FIFA, you can.
So
Okay, so why didn't
this is,
Frank Lampard do that with Kante
It's
or
not
Cucurella?
FIFA.
Anyways,
this is what I think, right? Manchester, let's just put this, let's just think some craziness, right? Manchester City ties against Arsenal, like Tronquito says, but they win the game that they have in hand. Manchester City is first. They don't have to win both games.
That's what I'm saying.
exactly. That's why I said
Like it
they're the
is
Premier
not
League.
in Arsenal's hand anymore. It's in City's hand. Like Arsenal is first, but they're still not in control of everything. Like that's crazy. Like it's
Grab
not
that
in
ball.
Arsenal's control anymore. So let's go to the other one, right? They play in the FA Cup. Who do they? I'm sorry, I have this written down. Who do they play in the?
Is it
Sorry,
Sheffield?
Yes,
Sheffield. They play
yes.
Sheffield. So it's
The
City against
Blades.
it's City against Sheffield. Do we really see Sheffield United beating this Man City?
No, even with
Bro,
Man City's
Sheffield will
Like
park the bus
okay, they're not
in one
they're a
counter attack.
competitive team, but do we really see like Sheffield beating Manchester City?
Well, that's the thing. The Premier League is always full of surprises.
It is, but
Okay,
with the way
cool.
Man City's been this season, like we're talking about Man City, like one of the only teams
I mean,
in.
we said the same thing with Napoli. Look what happened.
And then
Anyways,
and let's
Disappointment.
just
That's
think
different.
let's stay on topic.
let's just think craziness, right? Let's just keep with my idea, right? They qualify to the FA Cup final. Let's say they play Manchester United, right?
Ooh.
Let's say they tie against Arsenal and they win the game in hand. They're already first. They're in the FA Cup final. Let's say that they beat Real Madrid in penalties and they make it to the Champions League final against Milan or Inter. Do we see this AC Milan or Inter side beating Man City in a final like that?
No, they're getting wrecked.
Yo, so in reality, City is just 4 games away from a trouble.
Yeah,
I mean, the reason why I say just one because
no, three.
I think Madrid will find a way to win the Champions League against Man City. I think they're gonna choke, whether if it's against Sheffield or whoever they make it against in the final, which is what Man U. I think Ten Hag has Man City's number on that. And like I said, I agree with you on the Premier League. If they tie Arsenal, all they need is to win the next game, and they're in the driver's seat. And in Arsenal, I just feel like it's the end of the year. They've been folding. They have not been looking good. This guy, bro. I'm about to go take a lap. You rather have Guardiola, anyways. Why are you putting these dumb?
And then Gerardo says that the Chelsea that beat Manchester City in that final has the same style than this Milan Inter. I don't agree.
No,
I don't agree because Chelsea had a great squad and a great coach in that time.
I mean, Milan.
Well,
has a
he's
great
saying
squad.
style of play. He said style of play.
Right. I don't see it. I mean,
Me
he always has
very-
great takes, but I don't really see it.
I have a question. In the sense where City, for some weird reason, don't win anything, or they don't win the Champions, because I'm sure the Champions is on the top of their list. What do you think is going to happen? What kind of change do you think would happen? Do you think? Because I mean, like they said, they've won so many Premier Leagues, they don't really care about it anymore. Do you think they'd want to think? Not saying that they will, not Guardiola, but do you think they'll start thinking like we need a coach that's going to win us a Champions League? Like,
I think
brought
he's the best.
how
bet.
many finals have they been in? Was it? They
That's
lost.
what I'm saying. That's why I said if they don't win the Champions
One.
League this year, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
No, you can't say disaster. Maybe a disappointment, but not a
So
disaster.
Guti, I like where you're going with this, right? So let's take your comment apart, right? Let's say this Manchester City wins the Premier League and the FA Cup, a double. Is it a bad season?
It's not a bad season.
It's a
But-
great season.
I have
Yes,
a perfect.
but-
I have a
but they've
perfect
been
thing.
prepping for the Champions League. all
Wait.
these
Let's
years.
go. Let's go.
Guti, and then me. Go.
Ah,
Who said you said that?
Guti, go and then I'll go after you.
ah.
All right. So this is why I think it would be a disaster. You brought Guardiola. You won a few Premier Leagues, but that's not why you brought Guardiola. You brought
I
Guardiola.
don't
to
agree
win
with
the
that, bro.
I think.
Hold
I
on.
think
I'll
said
say
I was
one
gonna
Even
thing
let
though.
him
I
finish.
said I was next. I'll be quick. So I think in this sense, if they don't win champions, it's gonna be like the saying, "If you're not first, you're last." I think that's how a lot of the fans are gonna feel. Because
Anyway.
that's what they want. They
Yo,
want a
this is
champion.
Manchester City.
Yeah, but they're tired of winning the Premier League.
It's
they
like
want a
PSG,
Champions League
bro.
trophy. They
Exactly.
always
It's
get
the
I
so
same
close.
thing
Exactly.
with
The
PSG,
two and
bro.
the
You
I
bring
don't
all
They
this
think
dropped
talent to a
way
I
team.
too
agree with
you
much
Guti.
cannot
I
money.
agree with Guti. I
you
agree
Way
with
cannot
too much
compare
money.
City to Paris to
You cannot
PSG
What's
to a
the
team that
because
difference?
has
Manchester
Neymar, that
City
has
plays in the
Messi, that
Premier
has
League.
Mbappe.
What's
Are
the
you
difference
serious?
though? What's the
Look,
difference though? You
I'll
pay.
say this though. I'll kind of back Guti. Not
I agree with
Guardiola.
Guti.
Like you brought Guardiola to change the culture and to make a City a winning club, but you brought Haaland. You didn't bring Haaland to win the Premier League. You didn't bring Haaland to win the FA Cup.
That's
You
what I'm
brought
saying.
Haaland
But
to win the Champions League.
even
I
before they brought Haaland, though,
But bro,
they
you don't
spent
bring like
cash.
this is the thing though. You don't bring a player to win a certain trophy. Like
In
like
this case,
Haaland?
you did.
like
In
bro,
this
like you
case, you
don't
did.
Yes,
In
no
this
bro.
case,
Like
you
I don't
did.
agree. Like I understand where you're coming from, but on my perspective, you don't bring a player to win the Champions League.
You
You
don't
can't.
build one of the best teams in the world to not win the
of
best tournament
course.
in the
You
world.
can
I'm
You
you
sorry.
build
to win
you
a
bring
Champions League.
But
especially
but City
especially
has
on their first
everything
year, especially on
besides.
their first year.
No, I'm sorry. I don't agree with you,
So
Muchi.
Muchi, the only thing that City needed to get over the hump was I mean, the only position you would say that they needed is what?
They didn't need anything. They could have gotten better at some positions, bro. Last time Manchester City made it to a final, their strikers were Sterling, El Kun Agüero,
Phil Foden as a
Phil
false nine
Foden.
sometimes.
But even
Am I missing one?
but
Sorry.
even you're looking last season, Gabriel Jesus
They
was
had
there as
Gabriel
well.
Jesus, bro. They had quality strikers. They had a solid squad. Now, could they squad be toned up a little more? I mean, you can bring Ter Stegen, who's better than Ederson, but you already have Ederson. You could bring better center backs than Stones and
I'm
Akanji. You
oh
can
No,
bring.
Kanji.
not right now.
Wait, are you
I
guys? Are
think
you?
they have the best
And
Hold on.
center back.
You guys are telling me that Manchester City doesn't have the money to buy better center backs?
They're like
then
4 or 5 center
No,
backs
their
better
center
than
backs
anyone
are
on
on
any
fire right
No,
team.
now.
no,
Yeah.
that's
they're
not what I'm
solid.
saying though. Their form right now is impressive, but there are center backs that are way better than them. Now, if Manchester City, are you guys gonna tell me that Stones, for example, or
Well,
Akanji,
Stones is not even playing
but
center back anymore.
well,
It's
he's not playing
CDM,
center back in the
But
Champions League,
look at
only against
Stone's
Bayern
Well,
Munich.
level.
But
That's what I'm
wait,
Walker
saying.
wait,
doesn't
but
even
this
get on
let
the field as much.
wait, but let me finish my thought. Right, you guys really think that Akanji is a better center back than Virgil van Dijk?
No.
No, but
You
he fits Guardiola's system
Yeah,
Right.
I don't
He
see him.
so exactly he fits Guardiola's system, but that doesn't mean that he's a better center back. So you can always bring players that are better. So Guardiola left Gabriel Jesus out. He sold Leroy Sané to Bayern Munich. He sold
Zinchenko.
Sterling, and he brought Erling Haaland and Julian Alvarez. So he switched up for a little better, more.
Yeah, but that's
Yo,
not just like a little
including that,
switch.
yo, these are two players that have never played in the Premier League.
Yeah, but we're talking about players that are already coming
talking about a
into a
generational
side with Kevin De Bruyne, who's gonna feed them balls left and right, down the center,
Exactly.
And
behind the back.
The thing is that you compared PSG to Manchester City, and you can't
In
because
the
the Premier
sense
League is
of
way
Comparing them
this
competitive.
is
in
what
the
Kiki,
sense
this is
that
what Kiki
they're a
meant.
better team. I meant like they brought all these players in, they brought all this money and the takeover
Exactly.
from the clubs, but because they were
Mhm.
looking for Champions League. Okay,
Exactly.
that was the main focus overall these past few years was to
But
get
who
over
I
told you
don't
the
think
that,
it was the
Kiki?
main
Who told you
focus.
that?
He said, "Who told you?"
Yes, like I'm trying to understand where he get that idea from because they bring
It,
Pep
I think he
Guardiola
just
to become more competitive, to do and win Premier Leagues, and to also be more competitive in the Champions League. And Guardiola
No,
has
it
taken
wasn't.
to 3 semifinals in the last 3 years.
They didn't bring Guardiola to be
And is that
competitive in
success?
the
That's not
So
Champions
wait,
League.
they
success.
didn't bring Guardiola to
No.
also win the Premier League?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
of
not to be
course.
competitive in
But
the
that's not
Champions League. They
success.
brought
Of
him to
course,
win the
bro.
Champions
You cannot
to
bring
win. Yeah.
yo, if you could sign a coach and that coach and you can sign a coach and say, yo, if I sign this coach, he's gonna win me the Champions League 100%. Everybody will pay millions and millions and millions to bring that coach. That coach doesn't exist. Just like that one player does not exist. You cannot buy Cristiano Ronaldo, who is Mr. Champions League, and you're gonna win 100% the Champions League. Look at what happened to Juve. Juve had a squad and they bought Mr. Champions League for 100 million from Real Madrid, and they lost in the quarterfinals 3 times in a row.
You have a point, Mucci. But so like, how
But
many years right now has Guardiola been manager for Man City?
I think
since 2016.
five now.
Five?
Was it? You
How
sure?
many Champions League has he won?
2017.
He has not won any.
He has
No.
not won any. So that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. I think it's a difference because it's like they
Sorry,
brought him in
6
to
years.
to be more competitive in the Champions League, but at this point they're like, you should have at least had one by now.
But they
Yes.
are
because
competitive.
They
They
all
won
went
the
again?
and they
money
went
spent.
and they went to a final
Right.
and they lost the final.
Exactly.
You're
And
not
how
gonna
is it going to
win.
be if they go to another final and lose after the good form they've been
Well,
in?
we have to wait for that to happen. But if Guardiola takes Manchester City, who is this small, to win the Champions League, it's huge.
Small.
Exactly.
Yo, Manchester City is a small club.
It was a small club, of
They
course.
recently just became a really good club, actually.
Since the financial takeover in 2011 and
course.
2012.
Yeah, I get it.
Yo, the best player ever of Manchester City before the financial takeover was Robinho. Like that's it.
You
Robinho,
heard the story
Petrov,
about him?
like
The
that's
best
it.
player was
Got
Pablo
signed to
Ancho.
City.
Wasn't Tevez on there?
Yeah, but Tevez was after the take.
Was it
Adebayor?
Robinho that signed
It
for
was Pablo
City because he got
Ancho.
with Manchester
Y'all see
United?
Pablo Ancho, 2000s.
All right, so can we all
2000s.
agree? Can we all agree? Oh, my bad, Guti, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, can we all agree just that Guardiola's job to come to Man City was to make them into a big club, make them competitive across everything, win it,
Yes,
right?
I can
Yeah.
agree, of course.
I agree.
Okay, we all agree. And now, what's our take on the reason why they brought Haaland? Because I think, regardless, with or without Haaland, they're top two in the Premier League. I believe they brought a Haaland to get them over the hump in the Champions
Yes,
League.
they have
But
to.
Rios,
I
they
agree.
made it to a final without Haaland.
Exactly, but they did
Exactly.
He's
lose
talking about over the hump.
over the hump. I'm
No,
not
but
saying to get
is
them
the
there.
so what the hump is what winning
Winning.
the final,
Yes.
Yeah,
But that's
bro.
what we're talking about too.
That's such a like how do like I see and I understand what you're saying, but to believe that a hump is to win the Champions League, it's insane, dude.
5
Because
years in though. 5
okay,
years
the
in,
only
bro,
obstacle.
all the money they
five
spent.
What
years,
other
yo,
obstacle
you
is
can
there?
All
be
the money they spent.
bro.
Listen.
Guti, Real Madrid with Mourinho went to 3 semifinals in a row, and they lost all 3.
Okay,
And then 2 coaches came, and then Ancelotti came, and they won it. Real Madrid was constructing this Champions League winning team for 6 years.
So do you
but
think
that's the
they'll let
thing. They
Guardiola?
had
Right,
already
exactly.
won it. There was no pressure for them
There was no pressure
to
or money
win
at
it
Madrid.
again. To win it again,
Yes.
they were pressured after that curse where they kept getting eliminated by Lyon, of course, with the Galactico era. Then that became a thing. But Manchester City, 5 years and all the money they've dropped on all the players, which is what Kiki meant. Same thing with PSG. You spent all that money to win the Champions League. You're not spending all that
Guti,
money to win a
you don't
domestic
think
cup.
Real Madrid spent money?
Of course they spend money. They've always historically spent money.
Okay, so
But
bro,
they
you
won.
just gave me a prime
But we
example.
won though.
Real Madrid
Exactly.
in the early 2000s, they already had Raúl and Casillas. They bought Figo, Zidane, David Beckham, Ronaldo Nazario,
Ronaldo.
Michael Owen.
But they
and
didn't have those players when
they
beat
had
Leverkusen.
they had
Roberto
Roberto Carlos
Carlos.
already. And guess how many Champions League they won? 0. And they won all those players to get over the hump, like you guys are saying, and they never won it.
But we're not
Right.
saying that it wasn't a
No,
bad
we're not saying
time
it's
for us.
100%, but that's what you bring Haaland for. Is
I
you
think
increase your chances on getting over the hump.
there you go. To increase your chances. But no, there's not a if there is one player in history that can assure you or get as close as possible to win a Champions League, was Mr. Champions League, Cristiano Ronaldo. And Juventus bought him for 100 million and they didn't pass the quarterfinals.
But Juventus has also historically been cursed in
Yes,
finals.
but Juventus made it to 3 finals in the past 15 years.
And they've lost all of them.
I mean, okay, they lose the finals. They didn't get to semifinals with Cristiano. They lost to Ajax, they lost to Lyon, and they lost to, I'm missing one.
Dortmund.
No, it was Ajax, Lyon, and it was another competitive team, but it wasn't a big club. And Atletico de Madrid, was it?
It may be. I think they. No, I think that's when he came.
That's true. That was round of 16. They did beat Atletico. So, anyways, the point is that they never passed the quarterfinals. So, I don't know who said it, but I don't agree with whoever said that they brought or they buy
Really?
players or coaches to
I said that.
get closer, like get close. You can get closer, and I agree with that. But to say, yo, they bought this player to win the Champions League, I don't know. I think
Like
that's tough.
Well,
for
I think
example, this is.
he
I mean,
misinterpreted. I
yeah.
think
Like for
he kind of
example, I
meant
know
like
this
get
is.
closer to winning the Champions League because you've been so close, and like you said, I think it's going to get him over the hump. But I don't know. I think I'd be surprised
Jonathan, I
if they don't
know you
win.
agree that that they have to win the Champions League this
They
year.
do.
know you
I
agree.
do.
They
I
don't
think
have to though.
it's gonna be a shit
They,
show if they don't win. It's gonna be. I'm telling you, it's
why?
gonna be
They have Haaland next
because
year.
Guardiola's gonna get
look,
Time out.
slammed. Guardiola's gonna get slammed if they don't win the
he
Champions
is.
Can I explain this in
Yo,
basketball terms? Is it
if
okay?
Guardiola, you can, Rios, you
Let's
can,
go
but just let me
Bucks.
get this out of my chest real
Okay,
quick.
go.
If Guardiola wins the Premier League and the FA Cup, and he loses the final, or even lose to Real Madrid in the semifinal, nothing is gonna happen.
He's gonna
No,
I
get
I
slammed
agree.
agree.
though. He's gonna get slammed by the
Oh, he's gonna
By
get
the league.
slammed. He's gonna
Yeah.
get slammed by Real Madrid fans, of course.
No,
But he's
I'm
not
talking
gonna
about the
get.
media.
But he's
The
not gonna
Manchester
get
City
slammed
fans.
by people that really enjoy football. He's not gonna get slammed by them. Like people who really appreciate what he has brought to the league. Yo, winning 5 out of 6 is unbelievable in the Premier League.
Of course.
With a style of, it's a great style of play.
No,
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
think the ultimate goal was the Champions League, and that's why they
And
got him.
yeah.
bro, that's
But this is not the
that's
final year.
everybody's ultimate goal.
Like he doesn't have like 1 year left in his contract, or
Okay,
whatever.
but
Like
it's been 5 years that he's had a chance to win it, and
Yeah.
he
time
hasn't.
out.
There's no way that he can't.
But I think
No way.
I
Okay,
think
so okay,
honestly,
Guti. So what if he loses this year and wins it next year?
that's what I'm saying. That's why I think they'll give him another year because it's just the first
Another
season now.
year.
Not another year, but like I think like where it's like obviously they're gonna be like, all right, we have Haaland now. He's kind of gotten adjusted to the squad. You guys made it to the final. If you guys, if they lose, they'll be like, all right, you guys lost. But next year, like we're really expecting you guys to take the Champions League because you guys have all the potential right now. Expecting, not saying they are, but we would like you guys to take champions as well.
Man City is Guardiola FC.
We'll see about that.
He's
Bro.
given them an identity. Of course, Rios is right. He's given them an identity. He's made them relevant,
No, he
competitive.
has.
Like
We're not-
Mucci said, he took
hasn't done
Man
anything.
City that was this big.
Yeah, we're not saying he hasn't done anything. We're saying he was brought there to make the club big, and he has. But we're saying at this point
Exactly.
this year,
So that alone, what I'm saying is enough for him he can stay there as long as he wants. Like a Sir Alex
Absolutely.
Ferguson with Man U.
Yo,
Well,
if
basically, he will leave when he wants to decide to leave. Go ahead, Mucci.
if Manchester City does not win the Champions League and they want to fire Pep Guardiola, they are going to get slammed for real.
Exactly.
But
Okay,
Because
so what if Man City doesn't win anything?
that's what I'm
Zero.
saying.
Nothing.
Look,
then
We're
it's gonna be
opinions.
then it's gonna be a really bad season. A really bad season.
look.
I don't
the
think
thing
they'll
is-
fire him though.
No, I mean,
We
I
have
don't
to
think
look
they'll
at the
fire him, but it's
evolution
going to
of
be a
a club.
disaster season.
Yes, it will be a disaster if they don't win anything. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
of course. But I
And
think they're
it
gonna
would
win
be a
something,
bad
right?
season. You know how crazy this is, dog? That like if Guardiola was not in this Manchester City team, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Like this is how big Guardiola is. Like this is how huge of a coach and an influencer this man is. Because Guardiola can win the FA Cup, which Manchester City before the financial takeover only won a few times, only win the FA Cup, and it will be a bad season just because Guardiola is coaching. Now, if Real Madrid only wins La Copa del Rey, it's a good season.
I'd be disappointed. I feel
Why
like we
would
can
you
still win champions.
why would you be disappointed if you already won the league and the Champions League last year?
Because we should win it every year.
It's a standard. Like
Yeah.
You're a big club.
every year you have to win everything.
You've got standards that you got to meet.
It's not the same standard at Real Madrid than it is at City.
Yeah.
It is
I
this
think-
year,
look.
and I agree with Gerardo with what he's saying.
What is he
It
saying?
is
I can't see the chat.
it is this year because Guardiola is the coach.
He's
Yo,
been the coach
if
for
what-
five
I
if
years.
think
what-
he need to set a high standard for the club. Go ahead.
If Guardiola went to Brighton and Brighton didn't win the league, people would criticize Guardiola for not winning the league.
What about his first year with City?
We're
Yeah,
not
What
he
happened?
was
He got criticized.
Yeah,
He got heavily criticized,
it's
saying that he can't implement his identity in
And
the
he's
Premier
gonna get
League.
criticized if they don't win the Champions League. 100%.
bro.
Now,
I think because no matter what, there's always gonna be criticism, right? Whether he wins it or not. But like, I think we have to look at like the evolution of a club. Like right now, they went from a small to a big club. Right now, they're a big club, and they're doing good things in the Champions League. They're not, obviously they haven't won in the 5 years that he's been coach. But I think if it continues to be something like that, where they're just winning the Prem and domestic tournaments, and they're not getting the Champions League, I don't think it's going to be Guardiola FC anymore. Because when you're a big club, you need to aim to win the Champions, and if you're not winning, then they're going to look for a change in the coach because obviously what you want.
who are
What
you
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 gonna
guys,
bring in, bro? Who are you gonna bring
yo,
in
you
if
know
you
what?
fire Guardiola?
He's gonna bring Lampard or John
ever gonna
Terry
be
in.
No,
like.
but the point. Well, I think what he's trying to say is
You
that
get
once
rid
you
of
reach,
Guardiola, you're not.
So
I
you're
don't even
telling
see
me,
them going to
if
Champions
all
League.
you do, so you'd rather just win your domestic league every time and only get this close to champions every year and be like, oh, okay, now,
Just domestically?
yeah, like
Yo, this
domestic, like La Liga,
you
like
guys are saying this like winning the league isn't a great achievement.
it
And
is. We're not saying it
whose
isn't.
fault? You guys know whose fault this is?
Guardiola.
This is Barcelona's
Guti,
Guardiola's fault.
they're not understanding. I'm sorry.
Winning everything in 1 year changed
it's not about winning
You
everything.
guys aren't
Once you
listening
reach
to
a
what we're
level,
saying.
No,
once you
you're
reach
not.
a
Hold
level,
on.
the next
They
thing
need
you
to
think
win
You're not
about
cups.
is
understanding what
winning has
Moochie's
to win.
saying. Y'all not
They're
understanding what
down,
Moochie's
they're
saying.
not
No, I
playing
understand
winning
what
the
he's
league.
saying, but I think he's going against a different route from what we're saying. We're not saying Guardiola's a bad
No,
coach, that he didn't do anything at City. He did amazing things. He's the reason why
Don,
they are what they are right now.
Jonathan, I'll tell you this: Guardiola can go the next 10 years without winning a Champions League, and he decides to stay
I
in
highly
City. He
doubt
will
they'll
stay
keep
in
him.
City.
I highly doubt they'll keep. No, I would put my life on that. They would not keep him there
Oh,
because
really? So
because
who
there's
would
something
you
called
fire?
evolution. There's
Who
something
would
called
you replace him
evolution.
with?
Because
Drogba.
what's the whole? Because obviously, yeah, you dominate the Prem, but then like, how are you going
Vincent
to dominate
Kompany.
internationally? You're not
Bro,
considered a
you
big
make that
club
sound
then.
so easy.
If you can't beat a club like if you can't beat another big club in another country from another league, then what makes you a big club? Just because you
Look
win
what happened
everything?
to Man
So
U.
why are English clubs so big when they always lose to La
Because
Liga
they've
teams?
won Champions League against other international teams and they've
They
proven to
have
be the best
never
in
won
the
a
world.
final against a Spanish team.
But they've still gone through other teams against the world through that phase. They're not just playing
Yo,
English teams throughout the
English
whole
teams
Champions League
only win against
tournament.
English teams.
Oh my
That's
goodness!
true.
So you're telling me when Chelsea won the Champions League, they didn't have to play any other teams from any other international
I don't even
league.
remember who that whack ass team
All right,
played.
well,
No,
Listen,
they
so
beat
if
we all
Ancelotti
understand.
doesn't win the
they beat
Champions
Barca.
League, what
Oh,
happens
you're
to
not
him?
Oh yeah, they did
They're
play
not
Barca.
understanding.
They beat
You're not
Barca.
understanding. You, oh my gosh.
So
You
what
guys are-
happens?
Listen,
So like Ancelotti
listen.
is almost out,
Look,
right? So
I'm
let's say he
saying,
Wait,
doesn't win the
listen.
Champions
If
League.
if if, if Guardiola leaves Man City, the same thing that happened to Man U when Sir Alex Ferguson stepped down is the same thing that will happen to Man City.
100%.
look,
He's a person that you cannot fire. He steps down when he wants.
I
If he
think,
wants to stay there for 20 years, he will stay there for 20 years.
But it's
and
I
that
don't
when
feel like
and even if it means they will never win the Champions League because they'll just dominate England and nowhere else.
How
Yo,
many
just
Champions League
dominating
did
A
England
big
will be
club is
great.
supposed to be determined as a
so
club that
Reels
that can
question.
dominate
So if
in.
Ancelotti only wins La Liga for I don't know 5 years and doesn't do crap in the Champions League or
He
gets
would
to the semifinals or just gets to the finals and keep losing, do you think they're not gonna sack Ancelotti?
It's mad.
They didn't sack
Reevaluate
they
your
didn't
IQ
sack
of these two
Mourinho
right
when he
here.
did that.
You gotta reevaluate your IQ.
Mm.
Stunned. Yo.
Yo, when Mourinho got to 3 semifinals in a row, lost 3, won 1 La Liga, won 1 Copa del Rey, and he decided to leave because he felt like his cycle with the players were over. Real Madrid was not going to sack him. Why? Because they got to 3 semifinals in a row.
But with Mourinho, they won their first Copa del Rey
What
in like
trophy do you get going to the semifinals?
years. He brought
Of
he
the
brought
Champions League.
he brought it more. He brought
But-
like the Copa del Rey
But
importance
Guti,
back to
you're
Real
over
Madrid.
here, but you're over here defending an idea which is very understandable that these big clubs need to win the Champions League.
Big clubs.
So Guti, who are your top 5 in European history?
Real Madrid,
It's a deep
I
question.
agree. Number 1.
Manchester United, AC Milan, Barcelona. At 4 and at 5th,
Ajax.
Liverpool.
Ajax.
No said ella.
Okay, my top 5 are Real Madrid, Barcelona, AC Milan, Bayern Munich, Liverpool,
Chelsea.
and 6th is Manchester United. But
Sick.
those top 5, Liverpool got trashed by Real Madrid. Liverpool does not need to win the Champions League to have a successful year. When they won the Premier League alone, it was more than success. It was more than that.
But they've been
For
out of
Real
the
Madrid,
running for a long
Real
time.
Madrid needs to win the Champions League. Barcelona is a team that in 120 years they have only won 5 Champions League. They win the league first and then the Champions League. Just to think about how important the league is for Barcelona, they do not win the Champions League if they do not win La Liga. Real Madrid has won the Champions League being 4th or 5th in La Liga. For Bayern Munich, they just got trashed by Manchester City, and Manchester City just fired their coach because they thought that they were not gonna win the Bundesliga.
No, I think Bayern. You said City.
So I'm so sorry. Bayern Munich just fired their coach because the Bundesliga was a little too competitive for them. Just imagine how important the Bundesliga is for them, and they won the past 11 Bundesligas.
That's crazy.
And I forgot who was the 5th one. I'm sorry.
Milan.
And AC Milan. AC Milan just won their first Scudetto a year ago in 11 years. And it was success. And now they're in the semifinals of the Champions League. And if they would have lost to Napoli, nothing would have happened. Pioli would have still had his job. They would have still been there. We did a great year. Let's go. And
honestly, we're just going in circles at this point, but we'll just kind of point it out that Guti, Kiki, and I are on one side, and then Rios and Mucci are on the other as to, what it would look like. But
exactly.
Move on to the next topic because it's just going.
But everyone.
Exactly.
How are you gonna say how much City dropped? But every top club has dropped crazy money.
You see, it's just going in
Crazy
circles.
I mean, we
But I'm
won,
saying,
we won the
League.
Champions League without buying anybody for like
Liverpool won the
year.
That's not
Champions League,
true.
though.
That's not true. That's not true. Real Madrid has spent a lot of money on that Champions League winning team. Vinicius was 60 million. Rodrigo was 45 million. Karim Benzema was 80 million.
Yeah, but there was a
Modric
year that
was
we didn't
40 million.
purchase anybody. Is what I'm trying to say. There's a year
What?
that we just kept the whole team without doing one transfer, and we just won it.
What do you mean? Camavinga costed 80 million.
No, I think he was talking about when Zidane's last season, when they didn't buy anyone.
Yeah.
I think the only thing is they got James back on loan.
When they won what, the 3rd in a row or what?
Yeah, I think the last season.
Oh, last year?
No. Sorry, Zidane's last season that he won the Champions League with Madrid. I think that's what Kiki's talking about. If I'm not mistaken.
It was the same team though. It was the same team. It is millions of dollars of euros spent. Chelsea, they won the Champions League. They spent like 400 that summer.
Exactly.
Liverpool, I'm tired of Liverpool fans talking about Guardiola and Manchester City spending money when they have the most expensive goalie, the most expensive defender,
Center back,
the most expensive forward, and one of the most expensive midfielders.
But they
Like,
won.
what?
But they won one Champions League at least. They have one to show for it.
I understand, of course, yeah. But you know how many years? But do you know how many years? How many years Club was at Liverpool before winning the Champions League?
I think it's about the same as Guardiola is now, right?
7. He was 7 years into Liverpool before winning the Champions League. So we're not really thinking about the cycles that the teams have to go through. Like Real Madrid, before winning the 3 in a row, they went 14 years without winning a Champions League, Guti.
Yeah, fun. That was when they cursed. They were cursed for all those years.
Yep.
And then wait, Gerardo is saying just 3. That's a lie. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
That boy drunk.
He's saying that Club came in 2016.
Yeah, 16.
Is that
But
true?
they were,
2016.
I think so. Yeah, and they were in the Europa League versus Borussia. Was it that one? Yeah, and they made that crazy comeback.
I think it was a little earlier than that.
5 seasons in, he won it. That would be 2018 when they won it versus
2019.
Regardless,
Well,
was
what
that
did
Liverpool
it
team
be?
better than the Man City team?
3 years, 4 years when they.
So hold on, question. So let's say, what's worth more?
2015.
What's worth more, 1 Champions League or 5 league titles?
Bro, 5 league titles,
You need both.
100%.
Why can't you have
5 league
both?
titles, of course.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it
think
depends
so.
on which one you're talking about.
I think it depends on what club.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. We're just going in circles right now, boys. Like we understand us three are on one side, you two are on the other.
But I mean, I don't feel like none of us
Take your
are
time.
incorrect. Like we all
None of
are
us are
making
incorrect. I think that too. I think there's valid points to each side.
exactly.
I'm just looking forward to this tier list.
There
all
we
right,
go.
guys, let's go ahead and talk about coaches because
See
Guardiola,
a bunch of. I
because
can't see that. Can we zoom
Guardiola,
in?
I can see it.
I can't zoom in, but I can read them. I can read them to you. I can tell you which ones they're at.
I see Ancelotti. Heroes.
Scaloni, Lionel Scaloni.
All right, so we know how the tier
That's
lists
the
work.
goat.
Yo, let's do this tier. Yo, we're already at an hour and 20. My bad, yo, boys.
Yeah,
But
for,
it's been a great show. So
Yo, pro clubs.
I'm down.
all right,
we'll
so
put
let's
him
start. Let's start
really
with
good.
who's number. So it's Guti, me, Rios, Kiki, and Jonathan. All right, Guti, you want to start
World class.
for Ancelotti?
Mucci, where do you want to put him?
You're putting Ancelotti in world class?
You know what? I'll put him in a GOAT status.
Oh,
He-
I'm about
he
to
had-
say, bro.
He
Of
had
course.
a lot of different teams.
No, of course. Yo, he is one of the greats. Yo, but you know what's crazy? Yo, let's just talk about a little bit about Ancelotti, right? He's the only coach that has won the 5 big leagues, the 5 big European leagues. And he has made it to 9 UEFA Champions League semifinals, winning 3 trophies.
That's crazy.
This is unbelievable. Nine Champions League titles. This is crazy. All right, so Conte, yo, I'm gonna put Conte.
I agree there.
I'm gonna put Conte in really good.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna put Conte in really good. He's I think he's gonna be top 3 of the really good ones. I wouldn't say world class because he choked with Juventus in the Champions League.
No, man.
And Tottenham, he didn't do much.
Well, was he the head coach when they lost against Barca in the Champions League final?
No, that was
No.
that was Allegri.
Okay. All
Massimiliano.
right.
So,
So
Rios, you got Eric Ten Hag.
I'm gonna put either I'm gonna say world class. That's tough. I'm gonna say world class just because
World
what he's
class.
done with Ajax.
Yeah.
Even though Ajax, let's say, is not like a top 5 club, but what he's doing with Man U made them relevant this year. I think he has surpassed expectations and just a style of play. So I'll say world class.
Do you guys think that Manchester United has a great season with winning the Carling Cup? Is it the Carling Cup? Wait. Yeah, the Carling Cup.
Yeah, Carling Cup. Yeah.
And he might make it to the FA Cup final. Do you guys think he had a great season if they win 2 cups after getting trashed by Sevilla?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that'll make up. Not,
I don't think anyone expected that.
not
Based
fully.
on
I don't think anyone expected him to compete.
Based on how they've done in the past few seasons, it is a big progression. So I think it would be just a good season.
I think if they win both, it'll still be a good season because they lost to a terrible Sevilla.
That's fair.
Okay, so next is Alex Ferguson.
Oof.
Really good, bit.
That's a no-brainer.
He's
Yeah,
rolling.
of course.
All right. Jonathan.
I'll
Klopp.
put him at world class.
First or second in world class?
First in world class. First.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Guti, Marcelo Lippi. These are coaches that we've seen in the last 15 years that we've seen, that we've seen football.
DP world class.
You put them in front of.
Second. Yeah.
You put Klopp on top of world champion Marcelo Lippi?
No, I put him first in world class.
Okay. Louis Van Gaal. Louis Van Gaal. I'm gonna put him. You know what? He's one of the GOATs, yo.
Why? Because he came from Barca?
Yo, Louis Van Gaal won it all at Ajax. Won it all.
Didn't he do good with Netherlands? No.
He did.
Yeah,
he brought him to the semis.
He with Netherlands too. Was he the coach that went to the final against?
Nah, not the final, but he took him to the semifinals World Cup later. Yo, and not also that, yo, like we also have to understand, yo, Van Gaal made Xavi Hernandez Carles Puyol, Andres Iniesta, their first professional start.
Crazy.
And
Wow.
many, obviously many more, like Patrick Clark. Yo, he won a Champions League with Ajax as a coach.
It's not bad, man.
Nagelsmann, Rios.
I'm gonna say really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh,
He's potentially could be a world classer.
Kiki, Pep Guardiola.
The GOAT, bro. There's not even a discussion.
Do you put I think we have to fix this one here.
Yes, I put Sir Alex Ferguson and maybe Pep actually. Pep first and then Sir Alex Ferguson. Just the what he did with Barcelona is just incredible.
And you put Ferguson on top of
Ancelotti. Yeah. Sir Alex Ferguson is a legend.
No, of course. He is the coach with the most trophies ever. So
You really got Rafa Benitez up there, though.
I mean,
Well, he did
he won a
numbers.
Champions League.
With Valencia.
He won a Champions League in the past 20 years, so he had to be here.
He went away right Valencia, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he made it to
Liverpool.
He made it to one final with Valencia and one with Liverpool.
Yep.
Or he won La Liga with Valencia. Am I mistaken?
Yeah,
or who
he
won
did.
it? Yeah, there you go.
He did.
Pochettino?
And then that is Pochettino. Who Kiki Pochettino.
He just went.
Yeah, I just went.
Oh, sorry, Jonathan.
Pochettino, I put him in real good.
Yeah.
Okay. Guti, Rafa.
Really good.
Do you put him in front of anyone or you leave him there?
I put him in front of Pochettino.
Wait, can we all agree to
And
put Scaloni
I put him in front of
as the
Nagelsmann.
GOATs?
Huh?
I want to
Who
put
is-
Scaloni as a GOAT.
Scaloni?
I want to put Scaloni as a GOAT.
You can put him as a GOAT.
He's a world champion.
I'm gonna put him in world class.
All right. A little more. No, yeah, he's good there.
And obviously I'm gonna put him in
Yeah.
front of
Yep.
Eddie.
He's,
No, he
he's
has
a
to-
World Cup
Ah.
champion. He's a World Cup champion, which
He is, bro. He is.
That's the hardest tournament in the world.
I have
his
a
name's
question.
gonna go
And
down
you know
in
what?
history. His name's gonna go down in history regardless.
I'm
I have
gonna
a
put him on top
question.
of club too because he did win a World Cup in his first try.
Yes.
I have a question.
What's up?
What's your
Who was the coach for Munich when they won the Champions League?
Shoot, they won. You talking about when they won the treble or when they won the six?
That year, that they beat PSG. Was it PSG? Yeah, PSG.
Yeah, it was
Champions League.
Flick. It was Flick. He's not here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No, I
Let's
thought I was,
let's just say Xavi Hernandez is Flick.
okay.
Xavi Hernandez is up there?
Yeah, let's just put Flick as Xavi Hernandez.
Why is-
Or you mean Simeone?
No,
Okay, no, it's Xavi. Okay, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay, so Simeone is next.
Who's next?
Guti.
Guti, where you put Simeone?
That's a tough one. I would put him at the bottom of world.
I would put him at really good, and I would put him right after Conte.
Wow. This might be the one time I'm gonna move somebody. Well, it's my turn. So I think I'm gonna move Simeone to world class. And I'm gonna put him in front of Eric Ten Hag because making it to a Champions League final 2 times with Atletico de Madrid, winning two La Ligas against Barcelona and Real Madrid, winning Copa del Rey, winning UEFA Super Cups, like that's something.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put him there. Sorry, Guti. I had to, Rios, you want to move Simeone or you want to talk about Tuchel?
No, I think you actually made a
valid point.
A good point. Yeah, you made a valid point. I would say maybe. I don't want to waste. I'll say Simeone, but no. Actually, no. You made a good point. Tuchel, let's world class.
World class
in front of definitely in front of Ten Hag.
Yeah, he won. I mean,
in front of Simeone.
Oh, in front of Simeone. Okay.
Yeah, that's my opinion. Yeah, that looks right.
All right. Kiki, Vicente del Bosque.
He has to be a goal. But
He has to be a GOAT, bro.
I agree.
mean, to me, he is, but
Yeah, no,
it's
definitely.
Kiki's turn.
Yeah, no, I was gonna put him in the goats.
But where?
I think I'd put him in front of Epai, like right one over. I can't see. It's too
In
small.
front of
Yeah,
Van Gaal.
Van Gaal, yeah.
Do you think Ancelotti is on top of Vicente del Bosque?
Mm.
I mean, it's a tough one because I like obviously Ancelotti a lot. So for my
How
opinion, I
many
would give it
how
like
many
that.
Champions League did but there's still the World Cup, kind of.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask how many Champions League that Vicente del Bosque won
So Vicente, just to put it in a perspective, Vicente del Bosque is the only coach to win a World Cup, a Euro Cup, a
in
Champions
that
League,
Champions League.
a UEFA Super Cup, and a World Club championship.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
He
he's
might
got
be
he
he
got
might be number one.
those are gold
I don't know
credentials.
about number one, but
Those are
yep.
gold
Switch
credentials.
him,
Yeah.
switch him with Ancelotti then.
I mean, it's your decision.
No,
Then
no, no,
whatever
no.
you
Do it,
want.
do it, do it. I like the points you guys are making. So
Okay.
that's the whole point of this.
Uh, Jonathan. Well, you might be a little too young, but this is Wenger. He used to be the coach for Arsenal.
I'm
He
dead.
was the coach of the Invincibles, and he was the Arsenal coach for many, many
He's also a
years.
coach from Monaco, by the way.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
I'll put him. I'll put him in world class because he's never won a Champions League.
But top,
Um,
Mm.
move him over for like
but I'll
five
put him in
places.
front of. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put him in front of Ten Hag. Wait, no. Yeah, I'll leave him right there. I'll leave him right there.
That's crazy.
You know
I'll
what?
put him in front of I'll put him in front of Simeone,
Yeah,
Me
All
too.
right,
I'm
put
gonna
him in
do
front of
mine.
Simeone. Put him in
and
front
then
of.
and also the impact that he had, and in the
Yeah.
soccer culture in the soccer world is huge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna move my. I'm gonna take my turn and move him in front of Klopp, right after Scaloni.
It's
There you
debatable,
go.
but
That's what I said. See, Guti and I are on the same wavelength.
All right,
literally,
and then I
Plays
got
too.
so the picture is Xavi Hernandez, but it should have. I think it was a picture of Flick,
Flick
but so I'm gonna put Flick in really good first one. I'm gonna put it first one. I think that Bayern Munich team that Flick got was
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 made
really
already,
was made by Guardiola already. So
Um,
and it was a weird year too. It was like COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
COVID.
so I'm gonna put Flick as number one of really really good. And
What the
then
flick?
Rios, you got Zinedine Zidane.
The man that said to win Champions League, you have to learn how to suffer. What a man.
What a
Uh,
man.
Like there's only
you know what? I might be crazy. Let me see.
world class.
Hmm.
Don't
It's
do it,
three
Rio.
Champions League. How many did he win in a row? Three?
He
Three.
won three. Yep.
Ooh. How
World
many?
I'm
class,
gonna
the first
How many
guy.
La Ligas has he won?
I'm gonna put I'm
I
gonna
think
sound
one.
crazy. I'm gonna say the bottom part of the goats.
The bottom part of the goats.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so since we're all over with this, we're gonna go one by one before we end the show, and we can move only one coach.
All right.
All right, Guti, you first. If you want to move anybody, I
Del
think there.
Bosque. Del Bosque to second.
Okay, you put Del Bosque to second.
Oof.
I'm gonna move Zidane to here. Behind the
Oh.
world champions, but in top of Wenger and Club because he won those three Champions Leagues. And I also think you need to obviously know football to move him there. Why I move him away from the goats? Because I don't think he had an impact as a coach in the soccer culture like the five goats on the top.
True.
That's why I put him at the bottom of the goats.
On trust me, I agree with you. I agree with you. I just since I gotta move one. I mean, you can remove him.
No, I'm gonna let someone else go first.
What, bro? You're next.
I'm next.
Yeah.
um, I'll put him in the first of world class.
Who?
Zidane.
Okay.
And if anyone wants to do the honors and move him back to the goats, I appreciate it.
Kiki, your turn.
All right. Well, Rios just took mine because I was originally gonna put Zidane first in world class. I don't know. Eric Ten Hag is a good coach, and like you said, he won everything with Ajax, but I feel like he still has a lot of proof with Manu, so I might put him first and really good.
That's a great take,
Bro,
actually.
he took him to the semis. Ajax.
I understand.
but he did choke those last 10 minutes.
Now,
No, I'm not
was it
saying
his
he's
players
really
or was
good.
it him?
He's great.
Of course, but you know what I mean.
All
He's
right.
great, but I'm just saying, like, just I feel like give him more time in Manu, and if Manu wins a Premier League or wins a Champions League or gets back to being a legendary club, then I'll move him into world class past Wenger maybe, but in a few years.
All right.
And Tronquito, you got the last one out of
Means
the.
no one gets to touch mine, whatever, no matter how I move it.
That's
I
true.
started doing some dumb.
I'm
He's
gonna,
about to put Tuchel as the goal.
Tucho as go past
I'm gonna put
Guardiola.
Pochettino all the way up top. Nah. I'm gonna move Escaloni to the top of world class.
That's not a bad take.
It's not. It's really not.
It's really not. It's
Really
really
not.
not a
They
bad take.
win La Copa America, right?
He
Winning
won.
the
He won the treble.
Yeah.
Yo, he won the treble just like in his
Is it his
first year,
first
just
league?
like Pep.
That's mad, bro.
Mad bro.
With Argentina though, I think that pressure is crazy. But anyways, guys, this is the golden shoes tier list of coaches. Man, and this just became our longest show ever, yo. An hour and
After
35
we were saying
minutes,
in the
yo.
group chat
What?
that it won't be that long. What'd you say, Mookie? It's not gonna be that
I
long.
tried, bro. I really tried,
Rios
but
beforehand was like, "Yo, can we try not to make this
Hey
long?"
man,
yo,
that,
bro.
that,
I'm
that
at
Champions League
9%, bro.
discussion was
We
great.
had two debates that went for a while, but
The
it's all good.
Champions League discussion was great. We could have just
Yeah.
contained ourselves.
you
But
know
we're gonna do
what?
predictions or
Even
no?
though it's being a long show, I feel like it has been a really good show.
Yeah.
I like the intensity.
The intensity was
I
high.
listen. I've
I,
watched a few of you guys' show before, but I felt like this time there was a lot more information being put out there than the other ones. The other ones were just like a little bit more clowny, no offense, but like there's a lot of laugh. This was more direct about football, and that's what we need to talk
This is
about.
real
I
that's
stuff.
love
because you
it.
were on here, dog. That's why.
Kiki, matches for the weekend. Arsenal against Southampton.
I really hope they're gonna win like 2-0. I'm gonna keep it conservative, 2-0.
For Arsenal, right?
Arsenal, of course.
Rios, you
Southampton's
think Arsenal is
relegation.
gonna tie?
No, they're gonna win 3-1.
I think
They're
Arsenal
gonna
is gonna win this one too.
they're gonna start losing 1-0 and then come back 3 goals.
Oh God.
Win 3-1.
Guti, imagine
Yeah.
that pressure if Arsenal start losing this one.
Oh, they're
I
gonna
don't
make
think
me
they'll
look
be able to
bad.
handle it.
Then they did it a few times this
You said
Premier
what,
League.
Guti? They're gonna tie?
They're gonna make me look bad if they choke away the league because I've been defending them all season long. So
Let's go,
Because
baby.
you're a City hater. Because you're
no,
a
I'm
Pep
just
hater.
no. I like Arsenal. I like Arteta. Pep Guardiola
Go.
too. But I think Arsenal takes it to 2-0 as well.
All right, Tronquito, who you got?
I think there's gonna be a tie. I think Southampton's one of those teams
Ah,
to upset other teams out of nowhere.
They're not playing
Southampton's one of
Chelsea.
those teams.
They're not playing
Where-
Chelsea.
I think Southampton is one of those teams in the Prem that they just come out with the surprise out of nowhere, and I
brother,
think the
they're
surprise is
literally
going to be a
last.
draw. That's what it's going to be. I think it's just going to be a draw. I
All
think it's going
right.
to be.
We're talking about the worst defense in the Premier League against one of the best attacking players as in.
and also one of the teams that bring up the biggest surprises too. So
Guys, let's talk quickly about the two semifinals of the FA Cup. Let's just say our winners. It's going to be City versus Sheffield and Brighton against Manchester United. I think it's going to be a City Manchester United final.
oh yeah, definitely.
I got Brighton winning that.
Call Brighton, yeah.
I got Brighton over Man U.
So you got City and Brighton in the final?
I do.
Oh wait,
Rios, who you got?
That would be nice, but no, I think it's a derby, a Manchester derby.
I
All
don't
right.
think so.
Guti, who you got?
Manchester Derby as well. I think it'll be more exciting. In my head is saying Brighton's gonna upset United, but I would
I
rather.
don't think it'd be an
I'd rather
upset
see the
though.
Derby.
The way they're playing, I don't think it's called an upset.
I
Especially
think
after losing against Sevilla the way they did, their morale's gonna be so low. I don't feel like they'll be able to handle
I
Brighton.
think the opposite. Yeah, I think they've coming back to win something because they just lost in the Europa. So I think they've got nothing to lose. Well, they do got a lot to lose, yeah. But I think United's gonna come up and it's gonna be a derby. Wait for that, yeah.
It's a derby.
Yes. And the last important game of this weekend is Barcelona are gonna be home to Atletico de Madrid, who is the team in the best
You said
shape,
the most important game this weekend.
in La Liga. Wait, what he said?
Wait, you said the most important game this weekend.
No, I said the last important game this weekend.
Oh,
Who you got, Kiki? Barcelona versus Atletico de Madrid.
Barcelona, unfortunately, 1-0.
Okay, Guti, who you got?
Barca 2-1.
Jonathan, who you got?
Barcelona 2-1.
Okay, Rios, who you got?
Tie 1-1.
Tie 1-1. All right, yo, boys, that was the Golden Shoe
Golden
episode.
Shoe.
Episode 14. We're gonna all be wearing our shirts pretty soon, as long as Rio stop being lazy and sends it to us.
No,
Yo,
for
for
real.
real.
All right, Kiki, thank you so much for being here, buddy. We hope you
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks,
it.
Kiki.
We hope
Thank you
you
for having me.
enjoyed.
Give
Enjoy
you
the
a
For
show.
having me.
Guti, what
Invite
you did
me.
to your mic?
Invite me whenever you guys want some actual soccer opinions. So,
Hey, can we get him a
Alright.
treat?
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, yo, boys, have a good night.